Good evening, ladies, gentlemen, teachers and students of the college. I'd firstly like to take this opportunity to thank Headmaster Simon Duggan and Head of Rugby Mr Simon Mason for the very kind invitation and great honour to present the college's colours. I would also like to congratulate all of the students present who have worked hard and dedicated themselves to this very meaningful achievement in so many different areas of college life. When I sat down to write this speech, I wasn't really sure where to start. Simon's advice post-game at New Brighton Rugby Club last Saturday afternoon was along the lines of, just talk about your time at the school and your career, you've got about 10 minutes and don't throw me under the bus. I thanked him for the advice, was careful to make no promises, and perhaps that's why he called me at 7:30 this morning from Venice. So here we go. My time at St Anselm started as a pupil at Redcourt from 1980 to 1987, and with my father Peter, a former student at the college, it was always somewhat on the cards that I would follow in his footsteps. I started at St Anselm's in September of 1987, which now seems like a really long time ago, probably because it really is. During the course of my time at the college, I was lucky to make many lifelong friends, and looking back now, learnt much more than I ever realised during the 7 years that I was here at the college. Greater than the challenges of exams, contesting big rugby games and learning new skills, what I never realised at the time was that much more important than all of that were the values, community and spirit that the Christian brothers and the school's teachers were instilling in us as students. An enthusiastic work ethic, discipline, pride in what we did, kindness to others, support of those less fortunate, and a pursuit of faith-seeking understanding, fides quorunt intellectum. All that alongside holding each other to a higher standard, be that in sport, academics, music, community, or other extracurricular activities. What we can often forget is that any success, whether on the sports field or in the classroom, or indeed in later life, is not only the result of individual hard work, dedication and pursuit of excellence, but achieved alongside and through the support, encouragement and belief of others, coaches, teachers, friends and family. Alongside the support and encouragement of my family, for me, teachers like Mark Roberts, Martin Regan, Joe Green greatly influenced me where rugby was concerned. Paul Weaver, Chris Boyle, Martin McKay, Brother Carey and Jean Murphy inspired on the academic side of things, and John Bealby was the inspiration who headed the music department. All of these teachers and more were supremely dedicated to their craft and also gave up much of their own free time to help myself and many other students along the way. And for the teachers that are here today, many of them will be doing exactly the same for you, the students. The world needs passionate teachers, and for all of you here today, we'll leave to move on in life with a debt of gratitude to those teachers and family who have helped steer you individually on your own way and into the future. For me, rugby was at the very core of my time at St Anselm's. Alongside great teachers, I was lucky to be at the college at a time when there were very many talented rugby players. Simon Mason, Austin Healy, Neil Parsley, Graham Pebbody, the Savramutos and Terry Donovan. I have the utmost respect for all of those I played with, but these players really showed the way. Training and playing together with close friends was truly a privilege, as it is being on any team where you know everyone there at the whistle was prepared to put themselves on the line for each other. Nothing quite drives dedication, determination and absolute focus than the promise of success and the parallel fear of letting down those you look up to. There were many great rugby moments while at school, but in February of 1992, the first 15 reached the quarter-finals of the Daily Mail Cup against Bradford Grammar. We lost narrowly at the Ridings, 15-9, to a team with 10 capped England players. We could have won. We should never have got close on paper, but we almost did. And it was proved to me at an early age that the sum of the parts had the potential to be greater as a whole, as it was on a glorious night at Anfield on Tuesday. The following year, I was made captain of the first 15 and received the KWR Card Trophy, and this, to my day, is one of my proudest moments. On the social side of things at college, there was also early signs of promise as an entrepreneur, when myself and Philip Murden, now a partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers, managed to successfully get permission for a first ever school disco in this very hall. in aid of the World Wildlife Fund, no less. I distinctly remember telling Phil, if we wanted to get this through, we had to explain to the headmaster, Chris Clough, it was all about saving the pandas. I'm not sure he was convinced, but he let us crack on anyway, and we went on to raise a surprisingly decent amount of money for a good cause, alongside significantly improving our social profile. As my time at St Anselm's came to an end, and with all my hours both in and outside school pretty much occupied, I wasn't really sure what I would do for a career. But after a week of work experience in an office job, I became absolutely certain that I could not follow a career that involved a suit and tie. My A-levels were therefore chosen with the goal of getting into Leeds Metropolitan University to study human movement. I'd been up to Leeds for an open day, whilst in upper sixth, and Simon Mason kindly showed me around the campus for the best part of an hour before we spent the rest of the afternoon in one of Headingley's favourite pubs, the Skyrack. I distinctly remember getting off the train at Lime Street, slightly sideways, to tell my dad Leeds was the city for me. Austin was also in Leeds on the same course, having what I think was termed a change of heart with his electrical engineering degree the previous year. But with a spot in the England team and a soon-to-be Lions place in the offing, the crossover didn't seem too complicated a challenge for the Faculty of Sports Science. There were a lot of laughs on that course over the next 3 years. Whilst in Leeds, in another twist of fate, I failed my first year physiology exams. When I returned to a rather empty campus, there was a poster on the notice board for a fitness instructor job at the Leeds City Hilton. I applied quickly before anyone else got back, sending a fax from my dad's office on the Saturday, and Steve Smallwood, the general manager, gave me the job, took me under his wing, and a career in fitness and rehabilitation followed. As a result of failing that exam and the break Steve gave me, I ended up pretty much with a full-time job in my chosen profession while studying and finishing my postgraduate American College of Sports Medicine exams before I actually finished my degree. During university, I'd also been helping Simon with his strength and conditioning, and my final year thesis was on the design and implementation of his training program through the Five Nations tournament of 1995. Adjusting his program around an ankle injury started me on the path of sporting rehabilitation and performance. I was super proud to go with my father Peter to watch him get his first cap for Ireland at Lansdowne Road. This was my first experience of the buzz of helping a high-performing athlete as well as a great pal on the international stage. From Leeds I moved to London, becoming Simon's lodger in the first year of his professional era at Richmond. Simon's vetted and redacted the next few paragraphs of my stories from these years, but suffice to say, it was an eventful and carefree time, hanging out with many of the legends of the game. My first job in London was at the Chelsea Harbour Club, where I had managed to get an interview through a friend of a personal training client in Leeds, Gurdev Singh. His best man was a chap called Martin Turk, who was already a pioneer in the world of personal training, working with many A-list stars and athletes. I met with him, and he kindly gave me an introduction to Alex Mackenzie, the fitness manager there. I will always be grateful to him for also sticking his neck out for me and for giving me a chance at an incredible facility. I spent 3 eye-opening years at the Harbour Club, where in 1996 I met Princess Diana over a dirty bucket of water while washing down treadmills on a Sunday night. I mountain biked with Formula One drivers, worked with on the movie Eyes Wide Shut, trained Tilda Swinton to get in shape for a naked scene with Leonardo DiCaprio on the beach, and probably most memorably worked in Morocco on The Mummy for a summer with Rachel Weisz, Omid Jalili and Brendan Fraser, amongst others. I was also the fitness editor of Men's Health for 5 years. During this time, again through another introduction of a journalist client called Amanda Ursel, who also went out on a limb to support my application as a young 23-year-old enthusiastic but rather green fitness journalist, I got the job and then got busy making sure I didn't let her down. 2 years later, we won the Magazine of the Year, the equivalent of the Oscars in magazine publishing. My debt of gratitude here goes to Mrs. McConville, an English teacher from my early years at the college. In 2001, I was invited to join the London Spine Clinic, which was the UK's first private multidisciplinary spinal unit. This came about through my close work with an osteopath at the Harbour Club, Nick Potter, and a neurosurgeon, Mr. John Sutcliffe, who had heard about our rehabilitative work together. I looked after the biomechanical assessment and exercise prescription and cut my teeth amongst a truly unique team of doctors and neurosurgeons. It was here I developed a specialist interest in golf injury management and performance, most notably working with Jamie Donaldson to help him return to golf after a career-threatening back injury. Often in life, you don't know where the consequences of your interactions lead, but as a result of that relationship, I was on the 15th green at Glen Eagles when Jamie hit the winning shot of the 2014 Ryder Cup. A big night out with the European team followed. I've also been lucky to both study and work all over the world. I first visited the States in 1997 to study at the Czech Institute in San Diego, where I was to become a member of the teaching faculty and spent the last 20 years going back and forth on a regular basis, both working and teaching. I grew very fond of the US and the opportunities it provided, and still have many clients, colleagues and friends dotted around who I regularly connect with. In 2006, I left the London Spine Clinic to pursue my dream of creating my own team and founded the Bowskill Clinic in London's West End. Supported and encouraged by my parents, who probably also thought I was mad, but supported me anyway, and 10 years on, we now have 20 specialists and use some of the world's leading technology to assist rehabilitation and performance of everyday folks as well as world-class athletes. We're also lucky at the clinic to be involved with many artists in entertainment, music and film, and continue to have a strong, stable and professional golf, which has recently included playing my part in the team that helped to rehabilitate a certain American golfer who has just gone on to win his 5th green jacket. Work will be taking me again to the Hillside Club in Southport tomorrow to support our team of 7 European Tour players competing at the British Masters this weekend. As you may have realised, all of these parts of my career have always involved people connecting, collaborating, engaging, developing, growing and supporting. It has also, as importantly, involved teams of people, gym teams, rehab teams, professional sports teams and medical teams. Of course, getting appropriately qualified is an important starting point, but it is people, communication skills and experiences that have seemed to help me glue the various parts of my career together. No one gets it right all the time, but I hope I'm getting it right more often these days. In conclusion, as I reflected in recent weeks upon my time at St Anselm's, there have been several lessons that seem to become clear, and I feel relate directly back to what I learned here and what some of you may still be learning at the moment. I've summarised these into 7 points. It is people and relationships first that really make the world go round. Number 2, learn to understand what makes you happy and do more of it. Number 3, take your time and find your passion, whatever that might be. Focus on it intently and feed it often. Number 4, remember that many people will help you along your way. Never forget to make sure they know you are grateful. Number 5, pay it forward whenever you can to those who don't have the same experience or skills as you. It is never too early to inspire others or too late to be inspired. Number 6, work hard. Nothing great ever happens without hard work, despite how it may seem on social media. And finally, and most importantly, take the opportunity to be kind whenever you can. Thank you for listening.